is the current guidance residential contract approved by Sheikh Mufti Taqi Uthmani, your father, since it launched in 2002, and does he still support and approve the current structure? This is the assumption that the current structure has changed, which I'll say right now it has not changed whatsoever, but I'll let you answer that question.
Yeah, I was engaged with my father since very inception when guidance was started. Maybe it was late 90s when we were approached, and we have to work in these documents quite longer period. And I remember that with the chairman, Dr. Muhammad Hamoud, we had several meetings, and he had to discuss several times, and with some other lawyers and all the Sharia board members have different meetings. And especially my father, because it was the first product were launched anywhere in the world. I remember that even in Pakistan, we have Mizan Bank. We established Mizan Bank in 1997 or 98, and we didn't have the license for home financing at that time. We were given home financing license in 2002, and we used the same contract which we used, the guidance one, and same concept of that, which were basically discussed in my father's book, as you have mentioned, and it was also allowed by the IOFI. So the guidance was the first program ever launched in the world. And then I don't think, secondly, HSBC Amana, they have launched for some time in UK or for some countries. But again, I think they are not still anymore there. I don't know any part of the country except Pakistan or US. I don't know that whether this particular contract of Islamic home financing is found or not. Don't know, but in US I can say that we were engaged with the very inception and with the all documentation. And my father especially worked a lot for developing these things because it was the first time ever it was developing. So he has to do a lot of work, and I was also assisting him in these.
Yes,
Sam, if I might. Maulana Taqi was, from the very beginning, always asking questions. He has an amazing legal mind, and the lawyers were astounded at the depth and breadth of his knowledge when it came to these matters. We spent months, years, meeting over and over again. We had, informally and formally, we discussed this in so many different ways and forums and places, and debated. I mean, there was not agreement from the very beginning. And let me say this about Islamic finance. The reason there wasn't agreement from the beginning is quite simple. Islamic finance provides several different ways to accomplish a home financing. There are several different ways of doing it. But the problem is complying with the Sharia and then complying with local regulations, federal laws and guidelines, and then being competitive in the market. All of these factors have to come together in order for the product to work. For example, was a member of the Sharia board that approved the first sukuk securitization in Saudi Arabia back in the 90s. The biggest hurdle to getting approval for that, even though we had several different ways of doing it from Sharia, the biggest hurdle were the Saudi authorities. Now things have changed. They're now very familiar with the different modes of financing through Islamic finance, and they're comfortable with the different contracts and constructs. But to begin with, there were several jurisdictions. Indonesia was another one. They had to change their laws in order to accommodate Islamic finance, which was much better for them. And they realized that. So they took it to their legislature and they made the changes. Just to let you know, I mean, we had to noodle our way through this maze of very complex factors. And especially when you consider that there are not, that the federal United States is composed of 50 different states, with each one with its own set of regulations.